What's up everybody, this is Derek here, and in this video I'm going to be highlighting an interesting bug or glitch that's currently in PUBG Mobile 0.6.0, the latest global update. Now this bug isn't game breaking by any means, however it could potentially be helpful in one situation which I will highlight later in this video. For the most part though, this is something you never want to do because it will result in you starting the game either knocked out or killed super early, which is not very useful in a team game. So we have two devices on the screen today. I'm recording them from a camera that's located over the devices, and they are paired duo with each other. So this makes it easier for me to demonstrate this technique because it's not something that will often happen accidentally, although it could, and that's why I want to make you aware of this bug or glitch. So we've got a case of two teammates who can't agree. The bottom one wants to drop on a coastal city, maybe get a car and then drive somewhere else, maybe a school, and the other teammate wants to drop military base. So the person on the bottom, I don't know what happened with the sensitivity there of the touchscreen, but person on the bottom is trying to get on the ground as fast as possible, like I said, maybe to find a vehicle or get some early game loot. The top person still wants the bottom one to jump military base. So he goes ahead and invites the other person, which they accept because they don't realize that they were just offered to jump with somebody. They're already on the ground, right? Well, there's the bug. That's what happens. So when the top person finally jumps from the plane, the bottom person, because they're following them, is instantly teleported to where the top person was when they jumped, except they no longer have a parachute because they already used theirs. So as a result, we have the bottom person flailing through the air. It looks pretty funny. You can't prone or jump or stand. You can't really do anything. You're just falling through the air. And you're actually following the person with the parachute. So even though it looks like you're falling straight down, you're not. And that's because you're following the person who is still parachuting. So you can see it's glitching hard there. Look at that. The person's just bouncing up and down. We're going to go for a nice soft landing on a roof and splat. There we go. The person is immediately knocked out. And it's interesting because the game calculates fall damage based on from how high you fell, which in this case is very, very, very high because you basically jumped out of the plane without a parachute. But when we were landing, we were actually landing pretty slow because we were gliding in. So if it calculated it based on how fast you were falling, then that wouldn't be an issue. So at this point, I was wondering, is this something that only affects Erangel, or is Miramar also affected? Because sometimes these glitches aren't universal and they only work under certain circumstances. So once again, we have the same setup. We've got the top and the bottom person can't agree. One of them wants to drop right away. The other person wants to drop late, and we'll try it out again. So we've got the bottom person. I think he is going to jump super fast and just head for the ground, see what we can do, see if we can find a nice spot to land. Maybe those warehouses over there. Let's see if we could shoot for those. Meanwhile, the top person is happily in the plane, and it's interesting to note that you cannot invite somebody to follow you while they're already falling. So if you jump, like the bottom person's jumping and now floating down with the parachute, right now you cannot invite them. The top person can't. So the bug doesn't work there. It only works after they're already on the ground. So bottom person is on the ground now. The top person is waiting for them to jump. And I'm going to go ahead and actually ignore this request because there we go, we got a level 2 backpack. What's interesting is that the game kind of dumbly defaults you to automatically follow someone unless you hit no. So in that case, I'm going to pretend that the bottom person was busy trying to loot some stuff. He tried to use that backpack. Unfortunately, it just fell down. It had no parachute in it, but I thought it was still kind of funny. But basically, it defaults to following someone unless you cancel. So if you're lagging for a second, or if you're focusing on the early game, say someone else lands with you, I could see a case where you drop on the ground, you're looting some early game items, and then all of a sudden you're back in the sky with no way to control your fall. So, oh gosh, here we go. Once again, bottom person is falling through the air and splat. There you go. He fell from a high location and were heavily injured. So you can revive the people, but it's not a great start to a game because you're immediately having to get revived and you don't have any way to get your health back up, so it's just not a good idea. Now, I did mention that there's one use case where this could be potentially helpful, and that is if you accidentally drop in the wrong location and all your teammates decide, like let's say you want to drop down by the mines, but like the first person drops ruins. You know, they heard you wrong, or voice chat wasn't working or whatever, and they start dropping ruins. If they notice that, oh shoot, everybody else is still in the plane, they can actually accept an invite from one person who's already in the plane, you know, still in the plane, and that way, even though they dropped in the wrong spot, as long as they get on the ground before the other people drop, you could use this method to end up together. So that's the one use case that I can think of where it would potentially be helpful or advantageous to use this bug. But other than that, it's just the bug I wanted to make you aware of, and not one that serves a lot of functional use in the game. So I don't think it's really abusing it because there's really very little use case. Here we go again with the sensitivity. I don't know what's up with the iPhone screen there, but having trouble getting that to register. So once again, bottom person landing in El Pozo, already on the ground, and the top person invites them. Bottom person is worried about the guy who landed next to him or something, doesn't see it. Now all of a sudden you are following, and it is too late to change. So if you are landing, this is more applicable to Urangel than Miramar, but if you get this bug, one way you can prevent your teammate from getting automatically knocked out is if you land in the water. So even though you're falling from a incredible distance, and this wouldn't work this way in real life, if you land in the water, that actually mitigates the damage. It prevents you from getting damaged. There we go again, bouncing up and down as the game is glitching hard. But what we'll do is we'll gently glide into the ocean where the bottom person can safely splash down without taking any damage. So that's another way that if this occurs, especially on Urangel because there's a lot more water on that map, all you have to do is direct the person to drop in the water, and then your teammate won't get knocked out, as you can see there. So nobody takes any damage. So hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully this rather weird glitch or bug is now brought to your attention. Like I said, I don't think you can really abuse it, but it's just a really odd thing I want to make you aware of. So I'd recommend not doing it because you'll start out knocked out, but under certain situations, I guess it could potentially be helpful. So anyways, my name's Derek G. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up to help grow the channel, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing if you haven't already for tons more PUBG mobile content. I hope to see you on the battlefield soon, or in my Discord, which I'll also leave a link to down below.